The galaxy had forgotten Earth long before Earth forgot the galaxy. That was the lie the Dominion told itself. Convenient. Comfortable. Deadly. When the Helioran Dominion rose, gleaming fleets like shards of ice, crystalline cities orbiting dying suns, and 1,000 species bound under banners of stability, Earth was still crawling out of its gravity well, coughing on its own industrial smoke, squabbling over borders drawn by dead men. Humans were loud, violent, unpredictable, and above all, inconvenient. The Dominion ran its calculations, projected probabilities, and made the same decision it always made: non-essential. Abandoned. But one world refused. The Carthel Compact, scaly, scarred traders with memories that stretched across centuries, had watched humanity claw its way through wars that should have broken them, rebuild faster than reason allowed, and laugh in the face of extinction more than once. When the Dominion withdrew support from Earth during the collapse, when aid convoys stopped, embargoes tightened, and Earth's spaceports went silent, the Carthel stayed. They sent grain ships when orbital farms failed. They sold reactors at a loss. They smuggled medical nanites past Dominion patrols. They did not demand territory. They did not ask for repayment. One thing, and one thing only, they asked. Remember, their elder negotiator had rasped, voice like grinding stone over broken calms. We do not forget debts. Human diplomats, gaunt and stubborn, had nodded. Neither do we, they said. The Dominion laughed. Decades passed. Earth went quiet. Not dormant, quiet. No convoys, no new treaties, no signals in the galactic net. The official records marked it as technologically dormant, a footnote in the Dominion's galactic encyclopedia. The Dominion expanded unchecked, polishing monuments to its own greatness. The Carthel Compact was absorbed, peacefully, after a brief military campaign that left 100 systems scorched. The elder negotiator was executed, but his final words echoed among the stars. They will come. Admiral Seleuin's mandibles clicked with amused arrogance when the first human ship appeared at the edge of Carthel space. It was nothing more than a shadow, angular, scarred, no decorative hull plating, no gilded insignias. Its transponder didn't broadcast identification. It didn't ask permission. It simply arrived, and the sensors registered it only after it was already in system, weapons hot. Primitive intimidation, Seleuin scoffed. Open a channel. I want to hear them beg. The channel opened, and a human face filled the hollow. Not young. Not a cadet. Lines etched the skin, gray hair threaded the temples. Eyes were iron, unflinching, holding the weight of 100 crises. He wore no rank insignia, just a battered jacket with a tattered Earth flag stitched to the shoulder. This is Captain Jonah Hale of the ISS Old Debt, the man said calmly. You are occupying Carthel territory. Seleuin leaned closer, clicking in disbelief. This system belongs to the Helioran Dominion. Withdraw or be destroyed. The human smiled, not a friendly smile, not a warning. A tired, precise smile that carried the memory of centuries of survival. Funny thing about Dominions, Hale said softly. They always forget who kept the lights on when the universe turned its back. Then the old dead fired. Not lasers. Not missiles. Not conventional energy. Something worse. Space itself buckled. Gravity twisted. 3 Dominion frigates folded inward like paper, their hulls crumpling as inertial dampeners failed and physics became traitor. Seleuin's laughter died. Analyze that weapon, he barked. The tactical officer's voice trembled. Sir, it's not a weapon. It's a tool. They're rewriting local constants. Hale leaned toward the camera. We remember, he said quietly, and the feed cut. And in the cold, calculating heart of the Dominion, for the first time, a seed of fear took root. By the time the Dominion realized what humanity had become, it was already too late. Earth hadn't gone dormant. Earth had gone quiet. Without alien oversight, without the steady hand of galactic bureaucrats, humans had done what they always did when cornered: they adapted. Brutally. Relentlessly. Efficiently. They tore apart gifted technology and rebuilt it uglier, faster, deadlier. They stopped asking can we and focused entirely on how fast. The first Carthel survivors witnessed this firsthand when a human fleet dropped from jump space above their occupied homeworld. The ships weren't elegant. Not in formation. Not gleaming. Scarred, patched, battered, and terrifying. Sharon, a Carthel resistance leader, watched from a ruined factory as human drop pods screamed through the atmosphere like fiery comets. "They're insane," one young fighter muttered, gripping her pulse rifle tighter. Sharon shook her head. "No. They're angry. And angry humans are precise." The Dominion patrols, well-trained, overconfident, expecting to subdue primitive soldiers, rounded the corner. "Contact!" A human sergeant whispered into a calm. "Same play as Caracas, gentlemen. Keep your heads." One trooper snorted. "You said this wasn't a liberation op. You said we weren't fighting a war?" The sergeant didn't look up. "We're not. We're collecting a debt." They didn't charge. They baited. Dominion soldiers advanced, confident in numbers, superior firepower, and shields that could shrug off planetary bombardment. Humans retreated, slowly, deliberately, drawing them into narrow valleys where gravity spikes pinned alien bodies to the ground like insects. One by one, Dominion troopers fell, executed at point-blank range by humans who had studied patience and precision for decades. Sharon stared in disbelief. One human noticed her watching. He lowered his rifle, shrugged, and said, "War's a young man's game. Revenge, that's for the rest of us." Across the sector, similar scenes unfolded. Human ships bypassed fortified defenses, hacking logistics networks, replacing fuel with explosives, transmitting fake surrender codes that triggered docking protocols, then boarding vessels silently, killing bridge crews before alarms could sound. Every tactic was familiar, but twisted, perfected. Sharon's jaw dropped. "They're rewriting the rules." "They don't need rules," the human said, polishing a rifle like it was a ritual. "They just need to remember why they fight." Every move the humans made carried the weight of a centuries-old promise. Not revenge for themselves. Not glory. For the Carthel who had stood when all else abandoned them. Meanwhile, Admiral Seljuan's confidence cracked with every skirmish report. "They're too clever. Too precise. Too human." A captured human officer, restrained in the Dominion capital, only smiled. "Underestimating humans," he said, voice calm as a knife sliding into leather. "That's the fatal mistake." Seljuan growled, mandibles rattling in fury. Why come all this way? What do you want?" The officer leaned forward. "Debt," he said. "Always comes due." And in the dark of space, humanity's shadow stretched longer than anyone had ever imagined. The Dominion's mistake wasn't underestimating human firepower. It was underestimating human memory. Human fleets bypassed fortified strongholds and ignored the shiny prize worlds. They struck only where the Carthel populations had suffered, the prison camps, the resource extraction colonies, the execution sites. Every strike carried a signature humanity had perfected, precise, surgical, and morally deliberate. Every liberated world received the same broadcast. A Carthel elder's recorded voice, recovered from old archives, crackled over every comm channel. "We do not forget debts." Then a human voice followed, calm, deliberate, and unflinching. "Neither do we." Admiral Seljuan's mandibles clicked in disbelief as reports flooded in. Civil unrest spread across Dominion-controlled worlds. Client species, long oppressed, began mutinying in unison. Supply chains failed. Automated defense systems locked down against their own personnel. Entire fleets turned against their command, sowing chaos from within. Seljuan called an emergency council. "Enough!" he roared. "We have superior numbers, firepower, technology. This cannot happen." A human commander, captured earlier and brought into the council chamber via a holotransmission, met Seljuan's gaze with icy calm. "Your mistake," he said softly. Was assuming your empire would last because no one dared remember you. We did, Seleuin sneered. And what of that ape? What can you do against a wall of 1,000 ships? The commander's lips curved into a thin, humorless smile. This isn't about walls. It's about rules. At that moment, the human fleet executed the move that would etch itself into galactic history. The ISS Old Det appeared in the Dominion capital system. Not at the perimeter. Not at the gates. Inside. Among the ships. Among the stations. Among the Admiral's personal flagship. Impossible! Seleuin screamed. Their NAV systems would follow your rules? The human voice interrupted, calm and cutting. Funny. We never did. The ship didn't fire. It didn't need to. Instead, it transmitted a torrent of data, every secret treaty, every cover-up, every Dominion lie, every suppressed rebellion, every genocide hidden behind a veil of stability. 1,000 systems lit up with revelation. Riots erupted. Dominion administrators were dragged from their seats. The population they had thought compliant turned against them. Seleuin's desperation became palpable. Fire! Destroy them! Everything must be destroyed! And then it happened. Every Dominion weapon in the system, ships, orbital batteries, planetary defenses, went dead. Human malware, seeded decades before through Carthel aid canvas, activated simultaneously. Shields failed. Weapon capacitors overloaded. Jump drives malfunctioned. The mighty Dominion Empire turned its own technology against itself. The human commander appeared one final time on the display. You supported yourselves, he said, voice steady. They supported us. You forgot. We remembered. In a single, orchestrated strike, the Old Det disappeared, replaced by a cascade of human strike ships dropping into knife-range jumps, hitting every target with surgical precision. The Dominion fleet was annihilated. Entire command structures dissolved in hours. Chaos became absolute. No mercy. No hesitation. No theatrics. Just humans, claiming what had been owed, delivering justice across centuries of forgotten loyalty and neglected promises. By the time Seleuin realized defeat was inevitable, the empire he had trusted with his life was gone, not just shattered, but dismantled, piece by piece, by humans who were never supposed to be remembered. When the dust settled, the Dominion was gone. Not conquered. Not subjugated. Dismantled. Every system, every fleet, every council chamber, obliterated or freed. Humanity didn't take the throne. They burned it. They left no crown, no bureaucracy, no new empire to replace the old one. They left power in the hands of those who had survived, the worlds that had suffered, the species that had endured. Sharon, the Carthel resistance leader, stood on a balcony overlooking a rebuilt city. Humans and Carthel children played together in the streets, chasing after hovering drones that delivered food and toys, laughter echoing over streets still scarred from war. She watched the man beside her, Captain Jonah Hale, weathered, gray-haired, jacket patched with old Earth symbols. You could have ruled everything, she said softly. Hale snorted, a low, amused sound. We tried that once, he said. Doesn't suit us. Too many rules, too many mouths to feed, too many gods to appease. She studied his lined face. So why come all this way? Why risk everything again? Hale looked at the stars, silent for a moment. Then his eyes hardened, a glint of steel behind the calm. Because when everyone else walked away, you didn't. He turned to her, voice low but certain. And humans are very dangerous friends to abandon, and very loyal ones to keep. Sharon swallowed. Dangerous, yes. But loyal? Even to those who are broken. Hale's lips curled in the faintest smile. Especially to those who are broken. We remember who stood with us when the rest of the galaxy spat us out. And we never forget a debt. That's what makes us human. Somewhere in the dark void of space, the surviving Dominion fleets limped back to their home systems, only to find them empty, or under the careful governance of liberated populations. There were no conquerors waiting. No vengeful humans demanding tribute. Just freedom. And a warning. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for centuries. Thought them weak, primitive, expendable. Thought that a quiet, struggling planet could be written off. They were wrong. Every warship, every tactical maneuver, every calculated strike had a message. Do not abandon those who remember. Do not betray loyalty. Do not underestimate the quiet ones. On Earth, on Carthel, on every world humans and their allies touched, the legend of the old dead grew. A fleet, a promise, a history of justice delivered with cold precision and warm loyalty. The galaxy would never forget. And humanity? Humanity went home. But the stars knew, they were watching. Waiting. Remembering. Because debts, like humans, always come due.